Hello, guys. Welcome. I'm so excited to come to you today because when you are listening to this, it is Friday, February 13th, which means we are nearly halfway through February. The sun is out. It is so nice and warm in the greenhouse. I have been working outside today, trying to do a little cleanup. There's still a lot of snow out there, but I'm doing what I can because I need to be active. My name is Liz. If you don't know, this is Evergreen Flower Farm. I grow in, I believe we are 6A now, although this winter was pretty harsh for a 6A winter. And yeah, so what's going on the farm right now? We are hopefully, I did a little bit of work on the greenhouse today, getting up the channel that will hold the plastic in, and maybe possibly getting the plastic up this weekend. Like I said, I've been doing some cleanup around here. I am soaking and starting the ranunculus and anemone that will hopefully be going in the ground in 2 weeks from now. I generally plant that on the first week of March. So it's crazy to me that like we're nearly there. And once things start like that, it's like they just don't stop. So it's exciting. Tonight is the Galentine's Day event in Armada at We the People. I'm so excited to just spend a nice evening with some wonderful ladies arranging flowers and relaxing. I'm really excited about this event. And we're sending out these pot kits like crazy. The daffodil kits are completely sold out. I believe I have 2 more of the spring bulb gardens in the big round low pots. So those are almost gone for the spring. Once they're gone, I won't have any more until next year. Yeah, so that's where we're at. And what we're going to talk about today is my top 10 garden perennials and why they're my top 10. And these are the perennials that if I could start all over, or if I had to start all over, these are the perennials that I would start with. These are what I would grow because they're just that great. So let's just jump right in and talk about them. Maybe we'll keep this video to 15 minutes this week. And these are not in order of favorite to least favorite. They are just my favorite. So number one, of course, that we are going to talk about is the peony. The peony is like, first of all, she is just so unbelievably gorgeous. She's this big, fluffy, amazingly scented flower that is here for really a relatively short period of time, but so worth the wait, so worth the space. Peonies are said to, like, they will outlive you. If you put a peony in your garden, it will be there when you are gone. They will live over 100 years. And one of the best things about peonies is that they just get bigger and better year after year. There's a point where they're not going to keep getting bigger, but they just get better with age. And they're so easy. They're so easy to take care of. They're easy to start. The best way to plant peonies is bare root in the fall. But if you can't do that, you can plant bare root or plants in the spring. And a lot of people say the best time to plant a peony is yesterday, and the next best time is today. It doesn't matter. Just put them in the ground. Moving on, number 2, my second on my list is sedum. Sedum is another one of those perennials that just like it spreads politely. It gets bigger and better with age. And what I love about sedum is, well, two things. First of all, I use it for cuts, for cut flowers. It's great in the landscape as well, but for a cut flower, there are so many opportunities to cut and use it. Once it has nice long stems, it doesn't matter if it's still green. If the flower is still green, it will hold. If the flower is starting to turn pink, or even into the fall, as the flower has like aged into that like bronzy red color, you can cut it anytime in there and it holds forever in the vase. They are, and they're so low maintenance. They don't want you to pay attention to them. They definitely don't want to be fertilized. They don't need to be watered. Throw these plants in like the problem areas of your garden that are dry, and just forget about them, and they will thrive there. That's my, like, could you ask for a better plant? Let's see. Number three is yarrow. And yarrow for me, I treat it like a short-lived perennial. It will keep going on and on for probably forever. But as yarrow ages, it definitely spreads. Not invasively, but not so politely. It'll spread. And but as it ages, the flowers tend to get smaller and smaller because like there's more of them. Like it just gets more stems, so the flowers are smaller. So the way that I grow yarrow, I usually on year 3, I like rip it out and till it under and start over. But you don't have to do that. Yarrow is awesome for attracting pollinators. They'll be all over the yarrow. And there's so many different colors. Like you can find the peaches and yellows, and then there's pinks and whites and red. It's just really a versatile plant as far as like color and using it with lots of different colors around it. Yarrow is not another one. Yarrow is a great plant to dig and share with a friend too. You can just dig up a clump and they can throw it in a plastic grocery bag and give it to a friend, and they can go plop it in their garden and it will do great. Number 4 is delphinium. Delphinium are beautiful, tall, spiky plants. Some of them that I grow are as tall as I am. They just have these like big, long, like wand-looking flower spikes. Each flower is so dainty, but they're massive in the garden. They're one of the earlier blooming flowers. A lot of perennials are, but delphiniums bloom in early June. So that, it's really great to have some interest then. And they're awesome for that cottage garden vibe. Like they just scream cottage garden to me. Pair them with some foxgloves. Oh, yeah. Number 5 is Heliopsis. And this is a new one for me. Last year was the first year I grew this one in any like quantity. And I was actually given a few clumps by my mom out of her garden. And once they matured, it took about 2 years for them to mature into something like sizable and that I could cut off of for the flower farm. But they're like about this big around, the flower heads, and they look like kind of like sunflowers, like miniature sunflowers. They're so bright. They're yellow, and they get to like 3 to 4 feet tall, and they just keep cranking out the blooms all summer long. If you keep cutting them back, cut the flowers off of them, they will just keep sending out more and more and more. Mine started in June last year, and they didn't end until the powdery mildew got them probably at the end of September. they are susceptible to powdery mildew. So if that's a problem for you in your area, you know, you probably would have to treat them for it. I grow a lot of things that are traditionally susceptible to powdery mildew, but I think because of where I am at, because we're so wide open around us, we get a lot of breeze, wind in the spring and early summer. And then it's just very breezy through here a lot. So I think that it doesn't stay real wet, like the conditions that the powdery, the mildewy, fungusy things need to grow. Okay, so moving on, number 6 is allium. Allium is a bulb. Allium is something that you put in the fall, you know, ideally. But again, you can plant it in the spring if you didn't get it in the fall. They are another one of those like hands off, put them in the ground, forget about them. They're going to bloom. There's so many different kinds of allium. Drumstick allium with like these beautiful purple golf ball sized blooms, and then white allium and these gigantic Globemaster allium. Like they're, you name it, they're just so many different varieties. And again, pollinators love them. The honeybees will be all over them in the early summer. And what else? That's it. They're just super easy and reliable. Number 7 is echinops. Echinops is it's a really cool element in the garden. The flower, I don't even know that it doesn't look like a flower. It's kind of like this spiky globe, and it is like a bluish silver color. It's so cool. Pollinators will be all over it, and it holds up forever. Like, yeah, I cut mine and use them in bouquets, and they dry. They look exactly like, when they're dry, they look exactly like they do when they're fresh in the garden. They hold their color. And if you leave them in the garden, they'll spread, they will drop seed. And they're just so cool. It's really neat, a different element to have in your garden. Number 8 is apple mint. And I know a lot of you might be taken aback by mint, and I would definitely say you need to grow this in an area where you can contain it, a raised bed, maybe a container. But apple mint, it starts super early in the season. Like when spring is breaking, the apple mint is already growing. It's this beautiful, fresh green color. It gets very tall. I would say 3 feet tall spikes, and I use them in cutting. I use all of this in cutting, but and it just has this really fresh, beautiful apple minty smell that you can't beat. But definitely be careful of placement because it will spread. It is a mint. Number 9 is echinacea. Echinacea is just, it's native, first of all. It is so reliable, so hardy. It starts taking over and blooming when all that early season, the early June perennials are kind of finishing up and petering out. The echinacea is just like kind of hitting its stride and starting to bloom. They come in so many different colors. They're breeding so many different like color palettes and varieties. These like new fluffy echinacea that have these big poofy centers that are they're super cool. Yeah, they're just really reliable. They come back year after year after year, and they don't need any help. They don't need your assistance. And number 10 is Baptisia. Baptisia is a great, like, it turns into a big plant after about 3 years. It does die back to the ground every year, but it is this big, like, goblet shaped plant when it is mature, like a big V, and it's just full greenery. And then it has beautiful spiky flowers in mid-June, probably mid-June. And there's lots of different colors, blue, and there's like a pink lemonade one. There's a yellow. There's one that's called like decadent chocolate or something. They're beautiful. The flowers don't last a super long time, but the plant is just so substantial. It's great for in the back of your border, in the back of your garden, to just like kind of give it a little grounding. And the greenery on the Baptisia will last all year long until frost. So that's it. That's 10. We're at about 16 minutes. So I didn't do too bad this week. There's definitely more. The list of perennials that I grow is extensive. I love perennials. I love that they require less work out of me. They come back reliably year after year. So I highly recommend growing these 10 perennials if you have the space. And then many more, like some that didn't like just make the top 10 were like chrysanthemum, hellebore. I don't know why. I absolutely love hellebore, but I can only pick 10 for a top 10 list. So lamb's ear is just so cool also. And salvia. I could go on and on, but yes, that's it. That's my top 10. I have to stop. We have to move on for the week. I'm going to go out and enjoy some more of this sunshine. I am actually taking apart my Christmas wreaths and salvaging the frames for next year and getting rid of the greenery. Got a little fire going in our fire pit in the back and doing a little cleanup. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and a great week ahead, and I will see you back here next week.